seek him here, they seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? That cursed, elusive Pimpernel.
Sir Percy Blakeney.
My dear Madame la Comtesse de la Valliere, always at your service.
Dear Sir Percy, how glad I am you have come. Events of great political moment are about to take place.
I have the greatest admiration for your political acumen, madam. How it all goes into that charming head defeats me.
Citizen Chauvelin of the French Committee of Public Safety.
Citizeness.
Citizen.
All friends this evening. How delightful.
My dear Sir Percy Blakeney.
Oh, my dear fellow, must you be so infernally demonstrative? Really, you French are so energetic.
I beg your pardon. You like it?
Well, it is unusual.
I have determined that I should take more interest in my dress, as you have so often suggested, Sir Percy.
Isn't that the same material Lady Forbes had made into a blanket for Tata?
Tata?
Her horse. Splendid jumper.
You have not lost your delightful sense of humor, I see, Sir Percy.
What's afoot, Blakeney?
Come upstairs to the balcony. Something tells me we're going to witness an amusing little drama.
Monsieur et Madame Jacques Fleury.
Monsieur and Madame Jacques Fleury.
What on earth is Fleury, of all people, doing here?
We shall soon find out. The La Valliere woman hinted there was something in the wind.
But he's talking to Chauvelin as if he was friends with her.
You can be sure that whatever his motives may be, they're honourable.
When did he get married?
Quite recently, I'm told.
Well, she's certainly a most attractive young lady.
Hastings seems to agree with you.
Oh, so he does. Yes.
His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
Your servant, madame.
My deepest thanks to you, sir, for honouring us with your presence this evening.
Oh, not at all, not at all. A pleasure, I assure you. Well, my dear Chauvelin.
Your Royal Highness.
I trust your crossing was a pleasant one?
How could it be otherwise, sir, in these circumstances?
Oh, so long as you didn't feed the poisson, eh? That's the main thing. Well, is this the victim?
May I present Monsieur et Madame Jacques Fleury?
Delighted, delighted. Altogether a pleasant gathering. What one might call combining business with pleasure. Well, what about attacking the business part now? Then we can come on with the pleasure afterwards.
By all means.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales.
What on earth is coming now?
I'm not proposing to make a speech. This is all meant to be purely informal, right, madame?
Yes.
Yes, well, I don't think it's been a secret that of recent months there has been a certain amount of friction between our country and the new Republic of France. Well, it is our hope that that friction will shortly be ended. And so, Madame la Comtesse de la Valliere, who we all know is a tireless worker on behalf of the new government of France, has tonight invited here to London Monsieur, or rather I should say, Citizen Chauvelin. He has a plan which he has worked out, and which I may add, has my blessing. You tell them about it, citizen.
Citizens of England, they say that there are differences between your country and mine. What are these differences? I do not know. There is always friendship for you in our hearts. Tonight, we are going to give a proof of that friendship. One of our guests this evening is a countryman of mine who I know will command your respect. The French Republic's first ambassador to England, citizen Jacques Fleury.
Well, but Chauvelin can't possibly mean what he says.
Do you think he can?
No. No, I don't. We know Fleury is friendly to England. Fleury is a patriotic Frenchman. Last time I saw him, his great desire was to prevent war breaking out between our two countries. I can well understand he's making peace with the French government to achieve that aim. But Chauvelin must hate him. Then why send him here as ambassador? I don't know.
I say, fellows, Pruny really meant to surprise this time, didn't he? And isn't she charming?
Members of the League are advised to keep their minds on more serious matters at the moment.
You mean this ambassador, wasn't it? Surely you don't think that Fleury could be up to any tricks?
I'm quite sure he couldn't. It's not Fleury I'm worrying about.
Oh, that's all right, then. Well, à bientôt, as the French say.
Well, I suppose I'd better go and pay my respects. What are you going to do? Pretend you never met him? Of course. This is what one might call a diplomatic evening.
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen, pray take your places for the gallop.
Lord Richard Hastings, the very man. Not an intellectual, but an excellent dancer. Hastings!
He sounds most interesting, sir.
Madame and Monsieur Fleury, may I present Lord Richard Hastings? I've just been telling Madame Fleury Hastings that you're the very man to show her the sights of London.
Hope you'll make that a command, sir.
His Royal Highness has also been telling me of your reputation as a dancer.
An exaggeration, madame, which I hope I shall have the pleasure of proving to you, with your permission, sir.
Of course. Evening, Blakeney. Monsieur Fleury, may I present Sir Percy Blakeney?
May I congratulate you, sir? You actually know how a cravat should be tied.
Coming from Sir Percy Blakeney, that is a compliment indeed.
I once tried tying my own cravat, but I gave it up.
You never could manage the balance of the bows, could you, sir?
No. Beau Blakeney.
His Royal Highness did not exaggerate when he spoke of you as an accomplished dancer.
Because I have such an accomplished partner, madame.
But Signor also an accomplished flatterer.
Indeed, no, madame. The ladies of an English court cannot compare with those of France.
You forget, we no longer have a court in town.
But you still think about fashion, don't you, madame?
My main thought at the moment, monsieur, is to find a house to live in, now that my husband has been appointed to court here.
Oh.
Lord Hastings and Madame Fleury. What delightful they look together.
Yes. I think that I may now safely leave for France. My mission is accomplished.
Your Royal Highness. Oh, Jacques, darling, I have the most wonderful news.
What is it, my dear?
Lord Hastings has most graciously put his townhouse at our disposal. We can live there.
An excellent idea, Hastings.
Lord Richard, how can I thank you? The least I can do for international understanding. It will honor and a pleasure to have such a charming couple living there.
With a man who can tie a cravat, we have every reasonable hope of improving the relations between our countries. You've made a most remarkable choice, Mr. Chauvelin. Never have believed it of you, would you, madam?
Well, there are many things one might not believe of Monsieur Chauvelin.
Quite.
gentlemen.
Really, really. Might have hurt one another.
I regret that in the heat of the engagement, I forgot my duty to my so assiduous host.
Fleury's a gentleman. It's always dangerous when a gentleman gets angry.
You can't blame me.
Really?
Well, I haven't done anything for him to get angry about.
Perhaps not, but I expect he's heard the gossip.
What gossip?
About you and Madame Fleury.
Utter nonsense. I admire her tremendously. I think she's beautiful, charming, intelligent, but that's all.
That's all?
Who's been saying these things? I'll have him out. I'll challenge him.
Now, who rather disappointed? Considering the Prince of Wales, amongst others, expressed his disapproval?
Why can't people mind their own business? I thought at least that you'd understand.
Perhaps I do.
No, you don't. There you sit cool and calm in your Olympian aloofness. You don't know what it means to love.
Well, very well, then let's say that I do know that Madame Fleury is the wife of one of my friends, and if that seems a rather old-fashioned attitude, let's say she's not worth it.
I'll challenge you for that.
Now, Richard, behave yourself. There are better things to do than answer your foolish challenges. Andrew and I are going to France. Now, listen, Richard, I don't want to be a spoil sport, but this isn't particularly sporting. No, my dear Andrew, it's quite useless giving advice to someone who's in love. Anyway, one's usually wrong. In this case, you're not wrong, and you know it. A man in love is like a ship without sail or anchor. His movements are unpredictable. Ah, here we are. Dover at last. Well, well, well. An old friend of ours seems to be stopping at Dover, too. Oh, my dear Chavalon. How delightful to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, you left court in such a hurry that I had no time to bid you farewell. Oh.
You also are traveling to France, Sir Percy?
Let me try this, my dear fellow. What are you drinking? The wine here is absolutely impossible. My dear fellow, you must drink ale. Hey, landlord, 3 bumpers of ale.
No, thank you, Sir Percy. I do not like ale.
But, my dear fellow, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. 3 bumpers of ale.
As I say, Sir Percy, you also are traveling to France?
Oh, no. Just coming down, you know, for a breath of sea air.
I have been getting ready for the...
Not now. Can't you see that I am busy?
Oh, don't let me disturb you, my dear Chavalon.
I will decide about the coach afterwards. Go. My coachman is a stupid fellow. He always wants me to tell him what to do.
Is he going back to France with you?
No. He will return to the Countess de la Valliere until I require him again.
How right you are, my dear Chavalon. Never change your coachman. Unlike cooks and valets, they are treasures, priceless jewels.
If you will excuse me, Sir Percy.
Well, my dear fellow, I cannot see... What extraordinary manners the man had. Amazing. Leaving us like that? What he's up to? No. I've seen that fellow before.
Who? Chauvelin?
No. No, the coachman. He's not a coachman. His name is Chicon.
That's it. Chicon, the assassin.
Precisely.
What's he doing here?
I'm beginning to understand. It's Fleury they're after. Fleury.
Yes, but why here? Why here in England?
If they could say that the French ambassador had been murdered by an Englishman,
then the last opposition to war would be gone.
I'm beginning to see who that Englishman's going to be.
Richard.
If Chauvelin could accuse an English aristocrat of stealing Fleury's wife.
You know, he's clever. He's fiendishly clever.
Our work in France will have to wait. We return to London at once. You go to Richard's house.
Yes.
And I'll watch Fleury. Keep him guarded, day and night.
I've not been your usual self tonight, Richard. Didn't you enjoy the evening?
That woman's singing gave me a headache.
They weren't all singing. Some of them were talking.
Yes, I know. About us.
What does it matter what they say?
But it does matter, Renee.
You find me so attractive. We seem to be home, monsieur. Your arms are always so quick and strong.
Good night, madame.
You are not coming in?
No.
You English take life too seriously. I will wait for you.
Are you spying on me, Andrew?
There's no time to argue now, Richard. We're all in grave danger.
What do you mean?
I don't bring you advice, but orders from the Pimpernel. You're to go to Blakeney's house at once.
What do you mean, grave danger? Where's Fleury?
He's at Blakeney's house now.
But Fleury's study. She must be in danger.
Hastings, come back! You fool, Hastings!
Bonsoir, Monsieur Hastings. You are smiling because you are expecting help, monsieur. Your servants in the scullery are sleeping.
What do you want of me?
A little note in your hand. A note from you to Madame Fleury. Sit down. Right. My beloved René, I cannot live without you. And he is between us. Carry on writing, monsieur. The evening's work is not yet finished.
I'm afraid your evening's work, monsieur, is just about beginning.
Stand perfectly still, gentlemen.
Renee!
I'm afraid the plans for tonight are too important to be changed.
Renee, are you mad?
Oh, Richard. You look so sad. Tell my husband it was for France. Chauvelin, forgive me.
Whatever she may have done, whatever she may have been, I loved her, Blakeney. And I'm going to avenge her.
Please, Richard, listen just for once. Don't insist on playing Chauvelin's game to the bitter end. There's someone else who must avenge her. He loved her too.
What can I tell, Fleury?
The one thing you always can tell an honest man. The truth.
Wednesday morning, gentlemen. Let me take your coats so I can dry them off for you. Would you be wanting breakfast?
No, we're looking for somebody. A Frenchman.
Oh, a Frenchman. Oh, that one. He's more loony than a Frenchman, sir. If you ask me.
You've seen him then?
Oh, he's been in and out here the last half hour. Expecting a fisherman from Dieppe to pick him up, so he says. And there won't be any fisher boats going out with this gale of wind roaring.
Where is he now?
Down on the jetty, waiting.
You wait here.
Is this Frenchman a friend of yours, sir?
No, he's not a friend of mine. Nor of yours. Nor of anybody's.
Your Royal Highness, my government is horrified by this brutal murder of Madame Fleury and has decided to break off relations with your country.
I see. On what grounds does your government hold us responsible for this tragedy?
They allege that Lord Richard Hastings was the murderer.
Unfortunately, Lord Richard Hastings cannot be found.
Well, obviously, he has fled and will try to escape the country.
Upon my soul, madam, he must be fleeing in the wrong direction. There he is, waiting outside.
Yes?
His Excellency, Monsieur Fleury.
Sir, I have to inform you that with the help of Lord Richard, I have avenged the murder of my wife. I also regret to inform you that the murderer was a French subject, an assassin, well known to our government.
We wish to extend you our deepest sympathies, Monsieur Fleury. But at the same time, I would appreciate it very much if you would convey this intelligence to Monsieur Chauvelin as soon as possible.
Unless, of course, Monsieur Chauvelin already knows.
Surprising how little Monsieur Chauvelin sometimes knows.
Perhaps you will accompany me, madam, and we will make the necessary arrangements to carry out His Highness's wishes.
Most extraordinary business. Anyway, it seems clear that young Hastings has been grossly maligned. We must get him to tell us the whole story sometime.
Yes. It'll be quite a change to hear about something that has nothing to do with the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Oh, yes.